Primary 3 English Language, third term. Let's learn about paragraphs today. Unit 26, page 56, 57. So you can take your books and turn to page 56 and 57. Objectives of paragraph writing. By the end of this lesson, you will know what makes an effective paragraph, basic paragraph structure, where to place a new paragraph, paragraph writing practice. Paragraphing in writing is very important. It helps us to write good essays, articles, letters, and composition. Paragraphs gives us new beginnings and new ideas. So paragraph writing will help you in many ways. What is a paragraph? So let us learn about paragraphs now. A paragraph is a group of sentences about a single topic. Together, the sentences of the paragraph explain the writer's main idea. That's the most important idea in it about the topic. In academic writing, a paragraph is often between 5 and 10 sentences long, but it can be longer or shorter depending on the topic. Now, to tell you what a paragraph is. Now, we have decided to write a piece of writing. For example, we can take an essay. So, we are going to paragraph it. First, we should decide what we are going to write and how many sentences we are going to put into the first paragraph and how many we are going to add into the second paragraph and third, so on. So we can decide on the content what we are going to do. The most important thing is the paragraph, it gives us a new beginning. A new idea will be there in the paragraphs. So paragraph writing helps us in many ways. For example, a comprehension lesson, a question on comprehension. So there are so many paragraphs in a comprehension passage. So we have to read them well, understand, and decide which belongs to which paragraphs. So after reading some paragraphs, we find some questions. So if we pay our attention while reading, we will understand in which paragraph we read that question or in which paragraph we found that word. Therefore, paragraph is very important. It can be in 5 or 10 sentences, that depends on the topic that we have chosen. Now take your books and turn to page 56. So there you find about paragraph. You can see a paragraph which is divided into 5. A paragraph is a group of sentences about one main idea. Having paragraphs in stories makes it easier for the reader to follow. We often start a new paragraph in a story when the time changes. So as I said you, paragraphs gives you different ideas of the same content. So let us see the paragraph which is in the book. Paragraph number 1. Anna climbed out of bed as soon as her alarm went off. It was 6 o'clock and she had a lot of work to do on the farm. She got washed and dressed and went downstairs. So that is one paragraph. That is about Anna when she woke up, what she did. The time is mentioned there. So you can see some action taking place in that. Paragraph number 2. It was 6:30 and Anna had finished her cup of tea. She put on her coat and went to milk the cows. So there also you get the time mentioned, and it continues with the first paragraph and tells what Anna did after she finished her cup of tea. So we'll move on to paragraph 3. An hour later, Anna was feeding the chickens. She scattered the corn on the ground and the chickens pecked hungrily. So there it continues what Anna did. Paragraph 4. Next. Anna had to let the horses out into the field so they could gallop about. Paragraph 5. At 9 o'clock, her mother called her in for breakfast. Anna could smell the fresh bread as she took off her boots. Now you can see how this about Anna, how it is arranged. It is arranged into 5 paragraphs, and especially they mention about the time. Time to time, in each paragraph, it shows what Anna did. So we can see from this different paragraph have different length. Some have about 5-6 sentences, some have 4 sentences. So likewise we can see how the continuation has taken place and how the conclusion has taken place. Now children, we read the story about Anna. Now let us discuss the questions. So you can read paragraph by paragraph again and answer the questions given below. Question number 1. What time is it when the story begins? How do you know? What did Anna do in the first paragraph? So read the first paragraph again and find out what Anna did. And the time is already mentioned in that. You can see the time and answer that question. So moving on to question number 2. What time is it in the second paragraph? How do you know? What did Anna do in the second paragraph? So the time is mentioned as 6:30 and you can find out all what Anna did. Question number 3. What time is it in the third paragraph? What did Anna do in the third paragraph? So read the third paragraph and find out what she did. Question number 4. How do you know Anna let the horses out after she had fed the chickens? So there you have to read again and find out how you knew about it. Question number 5. What time is it in the fifth paragraph? So children, read the paragraph 5 again and you can see the time. How do you know? What did Anna do in the fifth paragraph? So you are given questions from all the 5 paragraphs, and these are very small paragraphs. You can read them easily and find the answers. Now practice. Imagine you are writing a story that goes through the whole day. Now you have to imagine yourself that you are going to write a story that goes through the whole day. That means the time is mentioned here. The beginning of each paragraph is going to tell the reader know what time of the day it is. Now in the paragraph what we learned also tells the time. All 5 paragraphs in the lesson gives us some time. Difference between half an hour, 1 hour, something like that. So here you have to write a story imagining how you spend the day by using the time. From breakfast to lunch, from lunch to tea, from tea to bedtime, after bedtime. So you can write a story, example, a day out. That means that you have gone on a picnic. So from morning till lunch, you can write what you did, like the paragraph 1. Then from lunch to tea, you can write what you did there. So from there we move to tea to bedtime. So there also you can mention the time, the actions and all what you did. After bedtime. So you can follow all these 4 times: breakfast to lunch, lunch to tea, tea to bedtime, after bedtime, and follow the examples given and write a small paragraph like a story. You can write a small story. It can be with 2 to 3 sentences. Each paragraph can contain 2 to 3 sentences, and you can express your ideas how you started the day, midday, tea, and after bedtime. So each and every beginning you have to tell the time that you are using there. Now breakfast time, like lunch to tea, bedtime, after bedtime. Now moving on to B. Now you can see some words given there, the time words. Now copy each of these paragraphs openings in the correct order under the correct heading. Now you can see the headings in A: from breakfast to lunch, from lunch to tea, from tea to bedtime, after bedtime. So in this box you find some words, some sentences in the afternoon, before bedtime, after breakfast, early in the morning, before lunch, after tea. So what you have to do is you have to put these paragraph openings under the correct heading. For example, let us take in the afternoon. So children, just think where we should put in the afternoon under which heading? It should go under from lunch to tea. So at mid time, example, at mid time, where should that go? That should go under after bedtime. Before lunch. Before lunch. That means breakfast to lunch. So you can sort out these paragraph openings under the correct heading. So you know the time well, you know the morning time, you know the afternoon, in the evening, midnight, lunch, tea time, before tea, after tea, and you can put them under the correct headings. Moving on to extension, write the first three paragraphs of a story called Dark Cave. You are asked to write three paragraphs of a story called The Dark Cave. So you have to follow a plan. There is a plan given, first paragraph, second paragraph, and third paragraph. So in the first paragraph, you have to explain why you were going to the cave and what time you arrived. You must write why you were going to that dark cave and what time you arrived there. So you can write that in 2 to 3 sentences. You can imagine what you are going to write. So before writing, you have to plan about the dark cave and you must think what you are going to write in the first paragraph, second paragraph, and third paragraph. Second paragraph, say when you went into the cave. Describe what it was like. Say how long you spent inside. So their second paragraph tells you to tell the time. You have to mention the time or how long you stayed there. Say when you went into the cave. You can tell you went in the morning. So describe what it was like. You can describe whether it was dark or scary or what type of cave it is. You can describe the type of cave. Say how long you spent inside. That means now the first paragraph what we learned tells us in order what and what Anna did. So like that you can imagine yourself like that and tell what you did and how long you stayed there. Example, like if you go in the morning and you came out in the evening and you have to write what you did there while you were in the cave. So there also you can write another 3 to 4 sentences, but it should be different from the first paragraph. Third paragraph, say when you came out of the cave and what you did. So say when you came out of the cave and what you did. So you can tell the time that you came out and write what you did there. So you can plan the story called The Dark Cave. You can imagine and write a story. Here you have the answers. Now you can write your answers and check with the answers given here. You have answers for focus. So read the paragraph well and write the answers and check. Practice B. You have to sort out the answers under the correct headings. From breakfast to lunch, from lunch to tea, from tea to bedtime, after bedtime. So children, I hope you would have sorted out them under the correct heading, because it is easy for you to know, know the time mentioned here, like tea, lunch, bedtime, midnight. So hope you would have answered the questions well and you would have understood the lesson. So we know paragraph is a group of sentence under one main idea. So we write them and paragraph that into some sentences and write a good paragraph. So it should follow the same topic with new ideas and new structure. Thank you.